Hi all, it's Maureen Stitch Mac and I am back. It's been a few weeks, I do apologise. It's just really hard at the moment, it's so dark. I mean, I do apologise, it's like pitch black, but we're in the depths of the bleak midwinter stuff, so it's, yeah, just dark. That's just life here. So I'm back with, excuse me, I've got a couple of whips to show. I'll explain what's going on a bit and plans for 2026. So yeah, I'll start with some whips. Like I say, it's just I do apologize. It's dark. Bags under my eyes. This week's just been, yeah. It's that time of year where you're just eating your body weight in mince pies and quality street and roses, and I'm just tired and grumpy. And work is shite with a capital S. Apologise for the language, but that's just how it's going to be. Yeah, work is like, yeah, pretty rubbish at the moment. And then the roof started leaking again the other week. So eventually I managed to get someone to come out and have a look. And he's like, Henny, your roof's fucked, hen. I could new roof, yeah. I did it for £9,000, just take cash, no VAT. Sure, mate. Yeah. I'll just nip in and get my biscuit tin with my £9,000 in it just to get my new roof, The choice. The choice. It's like, well, could you just patch it up until... No. It's fucked. It just water coming everywhere. I'm like, yes, I'm aware it is old. And yes, it needs redoing at some point. But I was planning on redoing it maybe like in a year or two. Not now. So, yeah. So I need to get some other people out and give me some quotes. And then I just need to ignore it for another 6 months. And my daughter's like, yeah, that ceiling's going to crack into me one time. I'm like, it's not actually like pissing in the ceiling. Just calm down. In. So yeah, the joys of being an adult. I'm over this. I'm like, can I absolve responsibility of being an adult now? I feel like I've done my bit. I've raised my kids. I don't need to be an adult anymore. Can I go back to being a child? So yeah, thank God for stitching is all I can say, because that's, as I'm sure all of you appreciate, when you get that needle in your hand and the thread, just forget about it all. Forget about it all. Apparently it's Christmas next week. Yeah, I'm forgetting about it all. Anyway, sorry. That's enough of my whining. So I will show you what I've done. Right, so I'm going to show you a couple. I've got 3 whips to show you. The reason being, I have worked on numerous pieces and bits and pieces over the last few weeks, but I then put them all back in the cupboard. I have no idea really what I've shown and what I've not. So my plan going forward is to show you the ones that I've completed the F1 stitching on. And of course, Cartographica, because it always gets a wee outing. So Formula 1 finished up last weekend before. And London Earth won the World Championship. Yay. Ironically, the way I did my stitching and my points, he came 4th. Max Verstappen won, of course. Sorry, I'm going to sit peace now. So, if you're new around here, this year I've been stitching for Formula 1 stitching. It is. So I chose 20 whips for the 20 drivers, but instead of making them, I allocated stitches per place in the race. So from 20 down to 0. And if you didn't finish, you got 0 stitches. Rather than the actual Formula 1, you get the points are like for the top 10 places. So I thought, well, that means that a good few of the charts I've picked won't get any work done on them because they might not get any points, or very few. They might not get any points. That happens. So I chose to do it that way. Of course, utterly ridiculous, overly ambitious, and I still currently have I think on last count I'm down to about 8,500 stitches that I need to complete it all. in my head though, it was always, I know that last race was like a couple of weeks ago, but the new season doesn't start till March. So therefore, as long as I'm finished by March, I have completed my goal. So what I'm going to do now is just show you the ones that I have completed the stitching on. And then going on, and then I'll try and hopefully over the next few weeks kind of do maybe lots smaller videos, and just show you the completed ones. So I'll do that just now. Why don't I actually just show you some? So the first one I completed is my Bramble and the Rose, which I started back in the dark ages. I literally started this, I think when it came out 2009. It's not even double digits, that. And then I hated it for ages, and now I'm on the very last page. If I can manage to find a before picture, I'll put it in, but I stupidly didn't I should have kept them all in a nice album somewhere, but I'm always deleting pictures because I hate mess. I'm like, no, delete. And now I'm like, oh, I don't actually have any pictures of before. But this one was for Franco Colapinto, who joined in about the 5th. Yeah, he joined in about May. He was a replacement driver. So he ended up having a total of 900 stitches, which meant I have worked. So let me just give you, see? Now, the reason I stopped liking this was I felt it was too fussy. That it's a variegated thread. Carrie's Creations, I don't even know if they exist anymore. And it started to get too fussy, and I felt that you were losing the pattern. Funnily enough, now when I'm looking at it like that, it's amazing how I can see the pattern. And yeah, it appears it's this whole having to actually count and keep a track of, and count across stitch, because you have to have it matching up. It's not like, I'm a full coverage person. There's a reason I like full coverage. You can fuck it up, and it'll no matter, because you can just kind of smudge it over. You can't smudge it over when it doesn't actually match up. So I think this has probably been stitched about 3 times in reality, because every stitch has been in and out and in and out and in and out. It's like hokey cokey. So as you'll see, I managed to this is the very last page. So I was really just working in this bit around here. And that's all I've got to do. It was a little bit, I was like, oh, it'd be really good if we could just get that finished, but too many whips, not enough time. But next year, god damn it, I'll get it finished. So that goes away now. It will be ready. Well, yeah, haven't decided. Actually, no, maybe I will put this back into the Formula 1, and if it got finished, then I'll replace it. I'll talk about that more in a bit. Next one I worked on was, well, the next one I completed, sorry. Oh my goodness, where are you? Bewitched Park. Oh yeah, by the way, that's Bramble and Rose ink circles. That was from the Gift of Stitching. If you can get a chance, I think they do sell that independently now of that, but that was when it was first published in the Gift of Stitching digital magazine, which you can buy the whole back catalogue now for like 15 quid or something like that. Bargain, honestly. There's some beauties. If you've never looked at that, absolute bargain. So, next one up is Bewitched Park, which is Leonid Avrame. This was charted by Love by Thread Designs, which are no longer charted. But you can get Leonid Avrame here, there, and everywhere. It's common as muck. So this was for Pierre Gasly. And she ended up with 1,500, not the best season, but ended up with 1,500 stitches. So I literally just, I think I managed a page on this. One of my other goals for this year was to do 25 pages in 2025. I think I'm about 8. But it was a good big goal. It was quite fun to try and just work on a full page. I think this was one of the ones. I think I got a page completed. Not to do 25 complete pages, to complete 25 pages. So this got completed, and then I finished it up last week. We started going over there. Now, I think it's only going to come to about here. I think it's maybe only got like another page or 2 across the top. But that's just not, it seems to, I seem to work on it a lot, and I never seem to make much progress on it. Again, I think this one, the cut, just, oh, I'll, 2 seconds, let me see if I can actually show you the picture of this. Yeah. Yeah, so you see it's actually a hell of a lot brighter than it looks there. Yeah. What have I done? Oh, God, what have I done? So on that it doesn't look very bright, but it will be a lot brighter. So that's the 2. Like this week I've worked on other whips, but I got bored and like I have a lot of stitches to do. Yeah, let me see, where's my total amount. Oh no, I've not added it up. Let's see, let's have a laugh. No, apparently I still got 9,839. I thought less than that. Obviously I can't count. 9,839 stitches to complete all the pieces. That's quite funny. So some of them, yeah, I've just like done like 500 on some. So I'll come back, like I say, once I've completed it. Once they've been taken off, that's, I've got 17 pieces still to work on. That's so funny. How long about 17 have I done? Yeah, no, that's only 2 I've done. Yeah, you know, I regard myself as like the Ferrari of stitching. Great expectations and failing miserably. So, of course, the bad boy that is my Cartographica. I think I've got some like 1,500 stitches to go until, let's just give you a little shiny, because I've got my sleeve tablet now that actually works. I can show you my loveliness. Oh, there we are. Oh, I just love it. So yeah, I think I've got, let's see where my, what's this? Cartographica is sitting at, I have got, just under 1,500 stitches to go to get to my 49.6% to get to my goal of 50% by the end of the year, which I'll naturally get. This is the goal. So I am, right, we're in Africa. So over the last few weeks, we've been in the China Seas, over in the Far East. Not the Far East, isn't it? Sorry. I was trying to get a decent picture of it. So we're over in the Far East, but now we're coming back up. I thought, okay, right, I've been doing all the easy stuff. We're back up here. Back into, we're kind of in the Middle East now. We've kind of come across from the Middle East. No, tell I, sorry. What way am I going? This way? I'm trying to join it up, essentially. So we're coming in, just so I get a bit more of this to do. But yeah, 1,500 stitches until I get this done at 50%, and then just another 50% to go. Another 5 years, never mind. That's my goal, 10% a year. Let's just see, can I just do this out? Just so you can see where I'm at there. yeah, so like I'll take this one off now. There. Yes, see? So if you see this line here, which is represents the equator, I'm saying it represents because I don't think this is not an accurate map. Okay, this is the old map. That's like does get that is like the halfway point. But yeah, still loving this, which is handy because I would never have got it done otherwise. So yeah, 50% done, nearly. So that's what I'll show you today. That's not what I've been working on. Worked on lots of other things. I don't even know when the last time I spoke to you. I think I've been at the stitching with a stitching retreat in Castle Cary in November, and then I've had a couple of stitch days with mates just there last weekend, which was very nice because we had dinner on the Friday night. And then a lovely day stitching on Saturday, as we always do. It's just get away. I love it. Another one booked in January and another one booked in February. Stitching with stitchers is just the best. And I know everybody's will be exactly the same. Stitching with stitchers is just the best because they just, you know what they're talking about. Everybody gets it. They just get it. That's really it. It's also extremely bad for finances though, because I'm not a big spender. I'm not a big spender, but even Saturday, I think we'd even it means Stuart's fault. It's all Stuart's fault. Blaming him because I was working on my lavender fields, which is this one. I was working on this one, Mini Lavender Fields by Heaven and Earth. And he's like, ooh. And he was watching, I like the colours of that. That's actually coming up nice. So then he went on to the site to have a look at it. And then when we were on the site, it was like, I'm going to see if I can find these ones. Yeah. So then, I haven't put these in Pancake yet, so then when he was looking for it, he came across this one, which is Mini Mountain Landscape. And we were like, oh, that's so nice. And that'd be a really nice companion piece for the lavender field. So yeah, his fault. I think he bought both of them. And then I got something else. What else did I buy? It was a sale on Heaven and Earth. So I bought Mini I See You in My Dreams by Genovia Art. Which is that one. Think about that one. And then this was on top of what I bought last week. Because Stitch is So Beautiful had a a sale on. So I bought, and who had I watched? Stitchy Witch. She had been to me just to find out who it was. I'd seen this and I hadn't written it down. I was like, who was that? And so eventually I found out who it was. I don't know if she started this or not, but anyway, I love this castle. This one, Stitch So Beautiful. That's a really bad side one. And then another couple, I don't know, they just fell into my basket. Because I think it was like, buy 3 and get more money off. Oh, so is it? This is what I'll call Blue House. And then, what else? What other one? There was one more. Where am I doing all these? I have absolutely no idea, but you know, we just keep buying. Oh, this is another one by Eder Jose Rosa. It's the Women in the Castle. But I think what I'm going to do is essentially, sorry, I'm going to try and show you, essentially chop this. Sorry, that. Oh, let's go back. Oh my god. It's essentially chop it, you know, do it like that. Cause, yeah, It's the castle and the rose. It's the women in the castle. So I think I'll just concentrate on doing the women in the castle. Whenever. But, you know, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I've got so many. This was when I did. And I went to Scotland as well. But this is just, it's Monet. I think it's called Antibes. It's an Antibes. I just did that as a wee pixely thingy chart. So yeah. So that's what I've bought recently. Because like I say, I'm not normally a big buyer of things. But yeah. Don't know. Fingers have just been going ding 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 ding. So, like I said, I'll talk about my plans. So I'm just gonna get a drink of juice. I'll just do this off camera. But I'm a bit of a, you know, bit of a not very ladylike. That's fair. So now, so plans are for next year. I'm going to carry on with Formula One stitch. Of course, next year's 22. It's going to be 22 drivers because Cadillac is coming on with the lovely chick. So there's going to be 22 drivers. But so I'm going to pick 22 whips, but I'm going to work on. I'm going to keep my hands down because I'm very conscious. I'm going to work on points. Correspond stitching with points. So for instance, like the winner always gets 25 points, so I'll make it 250 stitches, etc, etc. So there'll only be 10 whips per week rather than 20. Obviously I wasn't doing 20 whips per week. I was adding up the stitches and just stitching whenever there was a reasonable amount, or whenever I fancied stitching on that. So I'm going to do that because next year's also the World Cup. And I did a game for the World Cup, the last one. I did the World Cup and then I did the Euros, which was 2 years ago. So this is now the next World Cup. And FIFA, God bless their little consoles. Oh no, let's make it 48 teams. Yeah, let's not make it 32 teams. Let's make it 48 teams. I was like, oh, I really think that might be. That's just, I again was ridiculously overambitious with the last World Cup. I got it sussed by the Euros though. And I was like, 48 teams? Are you actually shitting me? So I was swivering about it. And then, you know, the gods shone down in Hampden Park and Scotland qualified. It's not just qualified, didn't like scrape through, like actually were the top team in their group. And if you watch the end of the game, I don't really watch football. I watched that game. I kept an eye on the score of that. I was kind of watching, keeping an eye on the score. It was a make or break game. It was like whoever won qualified. And I thought it was a draw at 90 minutes. I was like, oh, I'll stick a tail and just see, you know, let's just see. It was pretty kind of looking at that point. It was going to the playoffs. Yeah, and then they scored again. And then they scored again. And oh my God, I don't know nothing about football, but holy crap, it was just, I was like, the dog's just pulling at me because I'm screaming the place down. Everybody was, I think the whole Scotland was screaming at that point. Anyway, so I was like, well, if Scotland's in the World Cup, they've not been in the World Cup since like 1990 something. Well, I need to do it then, you know, because I just need to do it. So my plan for this is, I've got lots of whips. That's not a problem. I've got roundabout. I've got in the 40s. I'll bump it up. It's not a problem. I will allocate 48 whips. Even just saying this is stupid, to each country. But what I'm going to do is from January through to June, it starts in June, I'm going to, sorry, I'm trying to explain it as best I can. So the way I've done it is every country gets a whip and they get 50 or 100 stitches for the group stage. Then when it was like 32, then that dropped to 16. The 16 whips that go through got 100 stitches. This is where it went wrong. The 8 countries that went through got 200 stitches, etc., etc., until we got to the final. So I was, eliminating half the whips. The problem is the group stage lasts for like 2 or 3 weeks because they're all playing each other, so it takes quite a while. But then when they get to the knockout stages, that's it, it's one game. So they have simultaneous games on at the same time. So it's maybe only like 3 or 4 days. And then they're into the next round. And it was like, oh shit, I can't get this. That's where it went wrong. So I was doubling up the stitches with each round. And it was just, that's impossible. So I think with the Euros, I just kept it like either at 50 or 100 stitches up until near like the final. Because it was like, and I think I actually managed to keep on top of that. So, but again, 48, really. So I thought what I will do is between January and June, I will work the 100 stitches on each of the whip. They'll be getting doubled up with the Formula 1. So it's not like I'm going to 48 for this and 22. They'll be used for the same thing, but what I'll do is I'll stitch a different bit of it. So it's like, that's the World Cup stitching, that's Formula 1 stitching. So I thought, well, if I do that, that gives me a head start. Hopefully by the time we get to June, nearly all of them will have had their 100 stitches. So everything will have been worked on. And then as they work through the groups, sometimes you'll know before the end of the group stage who has made it through to the next round. Like, say if they win both games, they're guaranteed to go through. So then I can start working on that. And then once we're down to the 32 and the 16, then it's, And then I'll still be working on it in about December. But, it's not. I think with the World Cup, I don't think I think I abandoned it at the last one because I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So like it says 48 countries. So the way I allocate it is I try and if I can find something to match up. So like my lavender fields, I used it for France. Though I think I've used it for France probably in the World Cup and probably in the Euros. I've also used it for Charles Leclerc, who is not French, he's from Monaco. But that's quite near where the south of France. So, for instance, the museum shelf has always been with the Netherlands because there's some Dutch paintings on there. So I try and allocate a whip to the corresponding country. Once I've ran out of that, then I was going through whips, so I was going to do it alphabetically. So I was trying to match up countries to the names of a whip. And even with that, I've ran out. Now, also, there are, at the moment, I think there's 4, and I think there might only be 4. There's still 6 countries to go through in playoffs. So I won't know them until March. But there's 4 countries who it's their debut in the World Cup. And that's just crying out for a new start. So I've got 4 new starts, at least 4 new starts. Maybe more just this year. Hell of it. But otherwise, so once I've ran out of alphabet ones and the rest, I'll just spin a wheel. I'll just be told random. You'll just get what's left. And that's it. So that's my plans for 2026. Obviously, I'll still be doing my Cartographica. That's essentially it. When probably in the new year, I'll start. I don't know, maybe I won't bother. I was going to do a whip parade, but it's hard enough for me to even get time just to do this. I've done this. I've tried to do this update for weeks now. So I just don't think I'm going to get around to doing a whip parade. And quite frankly, half of my whips that I did last year, half of them haven't even been touched this year. So everything that, I'm going to start just showing. I've got 20, I've still got another 17 whips apparently still to finish. I mean, even just saying that's just so bloody stupid. God knows if I'll ever get this Actually, no. I'm working. I've got one to work on tonight, and I'll probably, over the next week or two, I can get 3 or 4 of those done. I'm also off over. I mean, I'm not off over. I'm working in between Christmas and New Year, but I've got like 4 days, and I ain't doing nothing. I'm not. Christmas is chilled. So yeah, I should hopefully get quite a bit of progress in that. Like, say, it doesn't really matter. I'll get work on it till March. But yeah, so that's my plan. So I'll show stuff as it's finished, and then from the beginning of the year, then I could also show stuff that's finished, but also start showing the whips that I'm going to be using for the World Cup. I'm showing 4 to 8 whips. Like, who the hell wants to see that? I'll just start talking about what ones. It's good fun though, because see, when you're a bit bored at work, it's good fun to sit and work out. And sometimes you'll just be inspired. What was it the other day? It was that I can't remember what we were talking about. I think we were been at Stitching Day. And we were talking about countries. Oh yeah, so Cape Verde, or Cabo Verde, I think his name. Green. Cape Verde, it's green. And I was like, I've got that. I've got a new start. I've had kitted up Emerald Books thing, and I was like, that's green, perfect. And then I was thinking of Curacao, and you think, I know it's a country, but you think of the liqueur, and it's blue. And I was like, oh, I've just bought that blue house, perfect. So every so often I'll get a wee flash of inspiration. That's what I should do for that. I'm not obsessed with cross stitch, not at all. So right, okay, we're at 32 minutes, and that's me, I'm done. So, and I've shown you 3 whips. So, if you've not already subscribed, if you've not done it and you want to come along for the ride for next year, or please, if anybody wants to join in with the World Cup stuff, please do. If you're daft enough, if you're daft enough to have all these whips, please join in. If you want to know more about it, I'll try and explain more about it, or just make it up as you go along. Who really, if you like Formula One, come along, join me in the Formula One. But yeah, that's me. I'm going to go now and hopefully be back more regularly once I actually get some more finishes. Just do little wee updates. And then hopefully, and also before the end of the year, I'll be back with my 50% of my big bad boy Cartographica. Right, and on that note, goodbye. Farewell. And we'll see you shortly.